Good morning. Seems like I'm always recording in the morning. This is Lori Pierce, aka Lula. Welcome back to my kitchen. For an entree presentation this morning, I am going to prepare for you a pork tenderloin with peach mango sauce using our fabulous Philadelphia cream cheese as usual. Never without it in my kitchen. This is such an easy recipe, you're going to love it, and it is one of those recipes like most of mine. You can add, subtract, do anything you want to with it to make it your own. This recipe for me right now incorporates a 1/4 teaspoon of seasoning salt, which I've already blended into a tablespoon of citrus grill seasoning. You can use anything you want. Because I'm using peach mango salsa, I thought the citrus grill would be a fabulous accompaniment. You just want to take a little bit of vegetable oil. Rather than putting it in my pan to sear off my pork loin, I simply put a little bit in my hand. I find that I use a lot less. Pork tenderloin is so lean anyway, but everything that we can do to keep the fat out off of the pork tenderloin, because we're going to put some fat into our sauce. Now I'm just going to sprinkle this all over the pork tenderloin, and we're going to rub it in on both sides using our cutting board for what falls off. Look at that. Pretty much clean. I already have my pan at the ready because you can see how quick this is. You want to get your pan ready. Sear on the little fat side first. I do not remove this fat. It's wonderful for basting. Okay, we put this into our pan over a medium-high heat. I'm sure you can hear the sizzle. We're going to brown it on all 4 sides. It only takes about 1 or 2 minutes. It's not a big deal. And then we're going to put it into a pan, and a roasting pan, and we'll put it into the oven. I've set the oven at 365 degrees. That seems to be my favorite temperature rather than 350 or 375. Perhaps it's because that's what how my oven is calibrated. I don't know. About time to turn this. We'll take some tongs. Look at that. A little pretty brown going on. I folded up the thin end. I don't find a real need for twine and all that fancy stuff with this. It sort of handles itself. When you sear a meat first before putting it into the oven, the theory is that the juices stay in better. It kind of seals the meat. I don't know about you, but I think one of the universe's greatest creations was the pig and pig fat. I adore pig fat. There's no fat I don't adore. All right. We're going to put this on our foil-lined pan. We are not going to cover it. It's not going to go in for very long. Alrighty, 365 degrees, 30 minutes, and we should have a gorgeous, moist pork tenderloin. You do not want this pork tenderloin to be 1 iota overcooked. There's too little fat in it, and we've got some juices running clear here. We're going to test it in the thickest part of the loin, and you put your meat thermometer about halfway in. You don't want it to go all the way down because then it's going to pick up residual heat from the pan. And we're going to test our temperature. Most people think about 170 degrees. I pull mine out at 160 because you tent it and you let it rest, and it always cooks a little more. So here we are. Right at 160 degrees. I'm going to tent this bad boy. We're going to let him rest, get all happy, just like that, for 5 minutes or so, and then we can cut it and display it, and while it's resting, we're going to make our sauce, okay? Pork tenderloin is resting, and we're going to make a really quick sauce while it does that. Now, if you are not like me and keep your pork jus from your prior recipe in the freezer, That's what I have here. You can go ahead and mix half chicken broth and beef broth. I've got about a half a cup here. This is what I do with chicken, turkey, and pork, not usually beef. I make my own jus. I strain it, get the fat out, and then I put it up so that I've got it at the ready for the next recipe whenever I'm making pork again. So I am going to heat this up. It's heating right now. I'm going to add, this is about a half a cup. I'm going to add a half a cup of peach mango salsa. You can make your own if you're so inclined. Or if you don't have time to do that, you can buy any kind of mango salsa. You want some heat and you want a little bit of sweet because you're going to counteract that sweet with your fabulous Philly cream cheese. I have 3 ounces here. And once again, you can play with this all day long. You want to melt it through. And if it's not thick enough for you, if you like it thicker, add more Philly. If it's not spicy enough for you, add a chopped up jalapeno. I made my salsa with jalapeno and habanero, so it is nice and spicy, and it is beautifully counteracted by the peach and the mango. I'm using a whisk to get what I call the knobbies out. Obviously, you have texture from your salsa, but we want our cream cheese to be thoroughly incorporated. So we're going to set this aside for a few minutes. We're going to let it cool slightly, and it will thicken slightly. I'm using tongs to hold my tenderloin. It's small enough I can manage without having to use a fork or a knife. We want to poke as little, as few holes as possible. We're going to slice slightly on the bias. You can see the juices coming out. It's so beautiful. Finished plating our gorgeous, juicy pork tenderloin. And as you can see, this sauce has thickened slightly in the time that it took for us to plate the tenderloin. We're going to drizzle our peach mango sauce made with our Philly cream cheese over our tenderloin. And then you'll take the rest of your sauce and you'll put it in a gravy boat and pass it. But for presentation's sake, you want this beautiful thin line. And then, to give it the color that it needs, we're going to take some extra of our peach mango salsa and do a thin dollop down the center. Isn't that gorgeous? Just gorgeous. Gotta tell you, I love meat. Ooh, this is gonna be so good. I'm hungry too. It's lunchtime. Ta-da! There you have it. Pork tenderloin with peach mango sauce. I think I'm gonna have to taste this. Shh, don't tell anybody it came right off the platter. Oh. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Spicy, but yeah, very cooling. Everything you want, you know.